The Interior Department says it's fast-tracking approvals for oil, gas, coal, and mineral projects on federal land, cutting down environmental reviews from years to weeks. Oil and gas executives expected President Trump's return to the White House would make things easier, but optimism for higher profits has started to fade. As part of a series on how Trump's early policies are playing out across America, NPR's Kirk Siegler reports from northwestern New Mexico.
The San Juan Basin is this huge swath of barren brown desert that first boomed in the 1950s when the federal government opened it to speculators and oilmen seeing green dollar signs. Some 40,000 wells now pockmark the rolling high desert hills of the Four Corners, many still reliably pumping up light sweet crude and natural gas through the old iconic pump jacks, this one named Poppin' Johnny. This basin has struggled lately as the major international companies left to drill on private land in southern New Mexico, Texas, North Dakota.
The first part is the wellhead.
Today, it's the smaller independents like Sean Dugan still hanging on. He's the young and cheerful third-generation owner of Dugan Production in Farmington.
Are you guys here until you're done?
He sees potential for another boom out here. There's still a lot of natural gas left beneath us, and the hope is all the new data centers being built down in Phoenix will need cheaper gas-powered electricity. But then he smirks, watching men in grubby overalls move huge, long steel pipes.
Your poly pipe, which is what these pipelines are made out of now, that all comes from the Asian markets.
Dugan says the cost of doing business out here was already expensive, and President Trump's trade war is making it worse.
And so it's like now you're checking the tariff rate. You wake up, check the tariff rate.
He used to spend $80,000 on a load of these pipes from Korea. Now he figures it could be up to $120,000. Dugan wants to plan for 10 years out, but now he doesn't know what's happening tomorrow.
It just kneecaps you when all this uncertainty and volatility is in the air.
I think the whole tariff thing is going to backfire on Trump.
George Sharp is the investment manager for Marion Oil and Gas, one of the San Juan Basin's oldest operators.
You know, Trump's drill baby drill and lower oil prices are not simpatico.
In other words, he says, if Trump tanks the economy and oil prices hover at or below the cost of production, you can remove all the regulatory barriers you want, but companies aren't going to drill new wells.
Build, baby, build. You know, they want manufacturing to be built here in the U.S. Well, there's not a manufacturing center that exists here in the U.S. that doesn't have a supply chain that's worldwide.
Trump lost New Mexico, but he did rack up big wins in rural counties like this. Sharp and others here do hope the Build Baby Build push will make it easier to get a new gas pipeline built from here to Mexico. The mayor of Farmington told me the America First energy agenda has brought renewed optimism to his town, built to top one of the richest gas and coal fields in the U.S. On the day Trump issued 4 new executive orders to revive America's coal industry, I'm riding with local environmentalist Dave Fosdick to the top of a hogback for what turns out to be a bit of an apocalyptic view.
So here we are up on top. Four Corners Power Plant, about 11 o'clock, and then San Juan Generating Station off to our left at 9 o'clock.
The enormous San Juan coal plant, currently being dismantled, is a hulking gash of twisted metal and steel glaring in the desert sun. And that Four Corners plant on the Navajo Nation is supposed to be decommissioned in 2031, but Trump has promised to stop coal plants from closing. People here are tired of seeing Farmington in the headlines as a town that's depopulating.
There's opportunities, but it's hard. It's hard to find an area like this that has been so dependent on oil and gas trying to transition to something else.
Farmington has tried to diversify by promoting tourism and outdoor recreation on all this public land around here. But those jobs don't pay nearly as much. And with virtually no new drilling here for now, most of the oil field work is in servicing existing wells, or there's work decommissioning them to prevent the leaking of methane.
Yes, these guys, they're about to start laying down production pipe, start cleaning the hole, and get ready to start pumping cement probably tomorrow.
Alex Prieto is grateful for the job in a time when so much feels uncertain. He's able to stay local and not have to travel to oil patches out of state like in the past.
I love it. Just keep my head busy, and I provide for my family, which is the most important thing.
We're happy, Prieto says, as long as we're working. But no one seems to be preparing for a lot of new hiring here at this point, despite promises of a new oil and gas boom on federal land. Kirk Ziegler, NPR News, Farmington, New Mexico.